lot better than practice one in the spring. Looked like we could get lined up on defense a whole lot better. Had a lot better idea on offense, moving around and getting set and getting aligned. Not as fast as we need to be, though, on offense. We can push the pace a lot better. But it was clean for the first day, and everybody's excited to be out there. And young guys still figuring it out. So,
safe to say, was that start to the fourth quarter that you wanted? Is that start to the fourth quarter?
It was a start. Yep, better than we started third quarter. I can tell you that. Or second quarter, excuse me. Yeah.
Is there an urgency that you've seen with this team that they need with the games being less than a month away? A lot of coaches talk about the urgency that team needs to show when the season's almost here. Have you seen that in this team?
No, we're not asking for that right now. And nothing's about Montana State right now. Everything's about us. It's all us. We're not worried about getting ready for a game right now. We're trying to play ourselves into maybe a little bit better shape. We're trying to make it look like practice 16, not 25 more practices after this. It doesn't need to be like practice 41. We're not ready for that yet. And so there's no sense of urgency for game week. It's a sense of urgency for tonight's meetings. We need to learn to go to a meeting and then come in tomorrow and be prepared for a walkthrough, and then go out and have a short practice. It's it's the time on the field that's the most important. We're going to shorten it, but it's going to be a lot of stuff that we're cramming in, and we're going fast. There's got to be a great retention rate from the meetings and the walkthroughs to the practice field. We've got to do a better job of that tomorrow. Be better tomorrow than we were today.
You mentioned the Texas Tough. What is Texas Tough to you?
Well, I think number one, it's physical toughness. You develop a lot of that in January, February, June, and July. And I think you start to develop and earn your mental toughness in days like this and in August and throughout training camp, with soreness sets in, fatigue, hot, all that kind of stuff. But we're trying to become a really, really mentally tough football team, and this is the time of year to do it.
To follow up on that, maybe once you get into the season, what's kind of your philosophy on how physical your practices are?
Depends on what day it is.
If it's on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday will differ depending on what month of the year, when it is. The beginning of the year will be a lot more physical than the end of the year. Wednesday will be work day. Wednesday we'll go hard. We'll go 9 on 7 against each other. Good on good, a good on good team period. We'll go skelly both days. Good on good. We'll go 1-on-1 both days. Good on good. But a lot more scout teamwork on Tuesday. Absolutely all that on Thursday. So it kind of depends on what day of the year.
Thursday is more
what day of the week? I apologize.
Thursday's generally more of a walkthrough.
No, we're not walking through. We'll be in helmets. I mean, it's practice. We'll be in helmets, though.
Hey, Coach, the sign above the entrance to the football training facility, I'm guessing you had a hand in that. Just kind of can you give us the story behind it?
Sure. It's just real simple. It's an honor and a privilege. It's not a right to play here, to coach here, to work here. So I think I defined everybody that walks in that building. You either play here, you coach here, you work here, and none of us are entitled. Every one of us are very, very fortunate to get to wear the red double T, to play ball here, to coach, to work. And I think it's just a little bit of a sign of a reminder of your attitude when you walk in, that you're going to give. You're going to give to the program. It's not about you. It's about the program.
Has that been the biggest challenge for you everywhere you've been, getting a team as mentally strong as you'd like them to be?
Yeah, it's a challenge every year, because every year is a new team, whether you stay in the program like we will here for a while and build it. But every year is a new year. The mental toughness, the accountability, player-led leadership is going to be different every year, and that's what you're always trying to create, that buy-in in training camp.
Saw a lot of high school coaches out there today. Can you talk about having them out here at practice?
Always welcome out here at our practices. You guys saw what I was told was a record number this spring. We open our doors. It's all about relationships. It's about give and take. We learn from them. They learn from us. We need their recruits. I mean, it goes both ways. I'm happy to have them out here for a few days before they start up on Monday.
There'll probably be some overlap with some things you mentioned already, but for a young guy to come in and have success early on in the Matt Wells practice, what does he have? What do they have to show you?
They need to pay attention to meetings. They need to know where they line up. They need to know where they're at on which special team. They need to watch the guy in front of them and do it right. Has nothing to do with talent, because they're talented or they wouldn't be here. So to play early as a freshman, you have to be able to master the things that take no talent, and that's some of the things that take no talent.
Coach, I know it's only the first day. Everyone's been asking about offense and defense, but special teams with the kicking, punting situation. I guess what have you seen from those guys, Jonathan and Trey and all them?
All of them are in the mix. It was a good first day. Didn't kick much today as far as field goals and kicking off. We punted a little bit, and so the punters were fine. But we'll see how they go.
To what extent is that a concern, considering you're basically replacing every position there on your specialist?
Yeah, it's
punter, kicker, deep snapper.
it's a deepest need to come out with who's going in first, coming out of training camp. I feel, Don, great question by the way. I feel torn because you're nervous for putting potentially true freshmen in every spot or 2 of the 3 spots, counting punter, kicker, actually kickoff and snapper. So there's really 4 if you count the kickoff specialist. Putting new guys out there just because they haven't done it on Saturday, but they're a talented bunch. The kids that we have here are talented, and they've been recruited because of that. And they got talent. They just need to go out and do it, in a Big 12 stadium.
Who is the main kickoff guy? And who's the main deep snapper, do you think?
That's why we're having a competition in training camp. Got 4 deep snappers in training camp, got 3 kickers and kickoff guys, got 3 punters.
What about the return guys? Who's in competition there to return kicks and punts?
Didn't really do much of that today, but all the names that are right there on that depth chart. We just haven't really focused on that yet. Today wasn't a big focus. Today was a lot more of a tackling circuit and a turnover circuit and some special teams tackle circuits, teaching offensive guys how to tackle.
Can you go into
all
that
those
a
kind of
little bit
things.
more?
Yeah, it's as simple as that.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, we're doing tackling circuit, all different types of tackles and blocks, and it all has to do with special teams, and we all do it. Actually taught the old lineman how to tackle. Heaven forbid we have a fumble or an interception, and an offensive lineman has to reach out and he'll click tackle on the sidelines a guy, or a receiver will do it a lot more often, and running back because they're going to be in kick coverage. We're going to actually play our offensive guys on special teams. We need to. And that'll be a staple that we have to do that, and those guys have to buy in, but they have to learn how to tackle first.
What do you see in Evan Rambo? What do you kind of his skill set?
He's tall, he's long, he's rangy, he's a smart young man. He's football smart. He cares. He's come in and had a good summer. He's put on maybe 10, 11 pounds, 12 pounds, somewhere right in there, just a shade over 10. And just, 7 weeks with Coach Scholes. So